Go home and Google it. Lori Galately was the mother of twins, was having a domestic with her husband. The husband put his hands on her. She filed a complaint with the Connecticut State Police on August 1st, 2014. A judge of the Superior Court signed an arrest warrant for his arrest on April 4th, 2014. Lori Galately went into Superior Court and got what's referred to as an ex parte restraining order to keep her husband away from her, and they would have a hearing within 14 days, but it had to be served on the husband. They didn't get to serve it on him, so she had to go in and renew the request for the restraining order, ex parte restraining order. She did. In the meantime, she moved into her mother's house in Oxford, Connecticut. They installed an alarm system. They bought little devices to wear around your neck to summon help. And on the morning of May 7th, 2014 at 5:45 a.m., her husband showed up at the mother-in-law's house and kicked his way through 2 locked doors. They attempted to call 911, couldn't get it done right. The neighbor called saying he heard gunshots. The mother-in-law was shot 4 times, wounded and survived. The wife was shot, Lori was shot 3 times and was deceased in the house. And all of the victims' advocates and everybody, they're proposing this new legislation in Connecticut that's probably going to pass regarding seizing firearms immediately on an ex parte order with no right to be noticed or opportunity to be heard when there's an ex parte restraining order. Sounds good. Give him his hearing the next day. I can live with that. But all of the newspapers reported Lori Galately did everything she could to protect herself. And then I went on to summary judgment, my show, and said, oh, I'll tell you what, there wasn't a gun in the house. Because law enforcement and government should have an expedited permit program and an expedited training program for spouses who are the victims of spousal abuse, so that if in fact, and men get beat up, I'm going to tell you, that if their life is in danger, they should be able to immediately take a firearm safety course and immediately show their proficiency at Duffytown and immediately have an instant background check done and immediately be able to walk into a gun shop, buy a handgun, and put it in their home for self-defense.
Well said.
Now, there are people who are pissed at me when I go like this. Yes, there are some people that should not have firearms. I agree. I've seen them as a policeman. I've seen them as an adult. It's absolutely correct. There are some people who should not have firearms. Now, I'm getting to the end because I'm starting to get sweaty. Not going to get into who we are. Okay. I have been able, and you know, when you go on Megyn Kelly, I'm in the media. I'm on with a guy named Scott Wilson from Connecticut Citizens Defense League. He's like a deer in the headlights in front of a camera, not me. And I knew that there was only going to be about 30 to 45 seconds to get the message out. They were going to do all the talking. So I've got enough time that I'm going to give you some more information so that you can share it with others. In my experience, based on my observations, there are 5 types of people who possess firearms. 1, hunters. 2, competitive and recreational shooters. 3, collectors and investors. 4, homeowners and CCW holders. Here's the 5th one, criminals. Now, there is a sixth group, but it is probably so small at this point in time, it's a non-factor. Who in this room is over 80 years old? How old are you? Are you a veteran? Veteran?
Yep.
Second World War?
No,
Korea? Korea. In World War II, veterans were allowed to bring their firearms home. They're called vet bringbacks. You could bring home your M1 carbine, you could bring home your .45. And there's a lot of elderly senior citizens who have a firearm in their house that they don't even know about until somebody passes away and they start inventorying the house. And the government offers them a $50 gift card to turn it in on a Saturday to some nonprofit, when in fact, the gun could probably pay for groceries for the next 5 years. That's happened. So, the 5 groups of people that own firearms. I've taken up too much of your time, but I want to stand out there and I want to shake everybody's hand. And again, I want to thank Mainstage for allowing this event to take place. I want to thank Mike Schwartz for contacting me. I want to thank the Ramona16 and every other group that's associated with it. Start your gun club, and I'll tell you, even if you don't own a gun, join the Ramona Gun Club so that your name is on the docket. Now, does anybody have a question? And if you're from Mother Jones, I'm not answering.
As is our typical format, so Woody with the mic doesn't have to run all over the auditorium. Just please line up behind Woody with your question, and he'll get you to the mic right away. And as a way of a first question, could you tell us what you expect out of the 11 judge panel, and if we should all lose on that, what happens next?
I'm going to take my attorney's advice. I think that the issue is going to end up at the Supreme Court one way or the other.